J.K. Rowling is best known as the author behind the Harry Potter series, which is one of the most successful franchises ever. But recently Rowling has also become very controversial, sharing opinions that have gotten her in hot water with other celebrities.
That's why today on the channel we're going to be listing celebrities who tried to warn us about J.K. Rowling. It's Mackenzie and Bree here, and let's get into the video.
Starting off this list with number 10, Daniel Radcliffe. After J.K. Rowling first started being vocal about her stance against trans women, Daniel Radcliffe decided to respond and made his opinion on the matter clear. Radcliffe does not have any social media accounts, so he shared his thoughts in a blog post for the Trevor Project. He said in part, quote, "Transgender women are women. Any statement to the contrary erases the identity and dignity of transgender people and goes against all advice given by professional health care associates who have far more expertise on the subject matter than either Joe Rowling or I." He made sure to state that his comments are not infighting between him and Rowling, but rather he wants to ensure no more harm is done to the trans community. Adding, quote, "It's clear that we need to do more to support transgender and non-binary people, not invalidate their identities, and not cause further harm." Radcliffe also stated he's an ally to trans and non-binary youth, and he's still learning every day how to be better, then adding that he hopes Rowling's comments do not tarnish the experience that fans had reading the books.
At number 9, Emma Watson. Actress Emma Watson was part of the Harry Potter franchise since basically the beginning. She starred in all of the film adaptations and she brought the character Hermione Granger to life. She also obviously had a very close relationship with J.K. Rowling. So when the author was facing backlash last year for her transphobic comments, it's quite understandable that she would have something to say about the whole controversy. Emma is quite the activist, advocating for human rights, specifically women's rights, as well as the LGBTQ+ community, so when she saw the author's comments about trans women, she spoke up and called the author out for the offensive things that she had been saying on Twitter. Emma also took to Twitter to speak out about the situation, saying, quote, "Trans people are who they say they are and deserve to live their lives without being constantly questioned or told they aren't who they say they are. I want my trans followers to know that I and so many other people around the world see you, respect you, and love you for who you are." End quote. Giving her trans followers, who are no doubt fans of the Harry Potter franchise, the reassurance that she does not condone the comments that were made by the author, as well as reassurance that she still loves and respects the community, is just one way that she sort of stuck it to the author.
In at number 8, Jameela Jamil. Jameela is another celebrity that used their platform to speak out against J.K. Rowling. After Rowling publicly tweeted in support of a woman named Maya Forrester, who lost her job because of her opinions on sex, Jamil decided to respond. Jamil first responded simply writing, "Unfollows J.K. Rowling, #TransLivesMatter." Jamil then followed it up with a second tweet, adding, quote, "Please follow more trans people. Please read about their experiences in this world and know you are contributing to their erasure, abuse, and suffering by supporting those who deny their identity/existence. Please wield your immense power to protect those most at risk, at J.K. Rowling."
At number 7, Eddie Redmayne. Another celebrity who spoke out against J.K. Rowling was actor Eddie Redmayne, who has starred in the other Wizarding World film franchise Fantastic Beasts. He was another celebrity who was appalled and taken aback by the offensive comments that the author was making and felt the need to state his case on the matter, and he did not support the author's controversial views. In an interview with Variety, the actor said, quote, "Respect for transgender people remains a cultural imperative, and over the years I've been trying to constantly educate myself. As someone who's worked with both J.K. Rowling and members of the trans community, I wanted to make it absolutely clear where I stand. I disagree with Joe's comments. Trans women are women, trans men are men, and non-binary identities are valid. I would never want to speak on behalf of the community, but I do know that my dear transgender friends and colleagues are tired of this constant questioning of their identities, which all too often results in violence and abuse. They simply want to live their lives peacefully, and it's time to let them do so." End quote. In a way, he made it even clearer that the author's views were wrong and kind of warned his fans against JK's views, knowing how hurtful they can be to some.
In at number 6, Halsey. Halsey decided to subtweet J.K. Rowling in June of 2020 as a response to her anti-trans statements. Halsey tweeted, quote, "Imagine writing a generation-defining series about a youth appraisal that defeats a tyrannical monster motivated by the preservation of a pure blood, and looking at this time in the world and going, yep, I'm gonna invalidate trans people." Halsey has been a vocal member of the LGBT+ community since coming out in 2015 as bisexual. Halsey now uses she/they pronouns as well.
At number 5, Mary Lambert. Though some other celebrities were a little calmer with their words when calling out J.K. Rowling, singer Mary Lambert certainly did not hold back when she bashed the author on Twitter in response to her criticisms of trans people. The singer tweeted a couple of scathing messages to the author saying, quote, "What the actual F? This is so disgraceful. J.K. Rowling, of all the hills to die on, and for what reason? Trans women are women and they're fighting for their lives. When you push this trans exclusionary agenda, you make their lives infinitely more difficult. Shame on you. You had the power and influence. Why would you do this? What does it achieve? Do you feel like more of a woman when you punch down? Are you threatened? Some trans men menstruate. Why does that affect you? Why do you want to police that?" End quote. The anger in this tweet really just says it all and kind of serves as a notice to everyone that so many people will not stand for this kind of discrimination. In a way, this was almost a warning to JK that in times like these there will be fury when you make such offensive comments about a group of people who already face so much discrimination and violence daily.
And at number 4, Jonathan Van Ness. After JK posted a controversial tweet about the concept of sex and gender identity in June of 2020, Jonathan Van Ness tweeted out condemning the comments. Van Ness quote tweeted writing, quote, "Trans women are women. Trans black people and trans non-black people are discriminated against every single day. They're dying. We're fighting for black people and trans people, and you're doing this?" Van Ness is an American hairdresser, podcast host, activist, actor, author, and television personality, best known from the show Queer Eye.
At number 3, Indya Moore. When J.K. Rowling was facing backlash for her comments about the trans community, the cast of the FX show Pose spoke out about it. This show focuses a lot on stories of various members of the LGBTQ+ community, and some of the show's cast members are also part of said community. One trans actress from the show, Indya Moore, spoke out against JK and her thoughts on the matter, condemning the author's comments. In an interview with Variety, Indya said, quote, "I think she's speaking from this place of sheer stupidity. I mean, it's just so dumb. She doesn't even understand how much death and violence are behind those opinions that she's sharing on social media right now. Like she's contributing to so much violence through her airing out of her thoughts and ideas and opinions. She's contributing to a stigma that is continuing to take our lives today." End quote. The actress also said that JK's comments were, quote, "her lack of acknowledgement or realization that it's her privilege that allows her to even be able to voice those opinions in the first place." End quote. This almost served as a warning to other fans of the author's work of her ignorance in situations like this.
And at number 2, Stephen King. J.K. Rowling got into a Twitter feud with legendary writer Stephen King after he tweeted out in support of trans women. After King tweeted out that trans women are women, J.K. Rowling allegedly blocked him. After the media started to fan the flames of a feud between the two writers, King came back online to clarify his stance. He said in another tweet, quote, "My opinion is that Jo Rowling is wrong about trans people. Leave shitty and hateful out of it, please." When speaking about the supposed feud with the Daily Beast, King said, quote, "Jo cancelled me, she sort of blocked me and all that. Here's the thing, she's welcome to her opinion." Then going on to say that if Rowling thinks that trans women are dangerous or other things, she has the right to have her own opinion. Then after King decided to tweet out in support of trans people, that's when Rowling had the problem. King then said, quote, "It's like the old saying, I don't agree with what you say, but I will defend to the death your right to say it. So nobody has cancelled J.K. Rowling, she's doing fine. I just felt that her belief was, in my opinion, wrong. We have different opinions, but that's life."
Finally, in at number 1, Peppermint. Trans drag queen Peppermint also spoke out against J.K. Rowling's comments, especially those that she made calling trans advocates, quote, "hostile and alienating," end quote. The RuPaul's Drag Race alum told sources that she wouldn't stand for the comments that the author was making, saying, quote, "Every single post, every single tweet comes off as innocent and unassuring, but it's extremely calculated. JK knows exactly what she's trying to say and knows exactly what she's trying to do, and now we know exactly who she is. I won't allow her to insert her ignorance on the situation," end quote. The way she said that now we know exactly who JK really is almost serves as a notice or warning to any other fans of the author's work that JK's ideologies away from the Wizarding world are something to acknowledge and should be talked about. For a lot of Harry Potter fans, they kind of broke up with this franchise after the scandal because supporting it meant that they were also supporting the author and her views, and for many that meant that they weren't being a good ally. Now that people have really seen the author's true colors, they're warning others about it, and that has hurt JK's reputation and career severely.
Alright guys, so that is all for the video today. Please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel below and let us know your thoughts on anything that we said in the video. I've been your host, Mackenzie Smith.
And I've been your other host, Brie Room.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
Bye!